Hi guys, my name is Albin and today we are back with another sim racing video. The first one for about 3 weeks. I haven't uploaded for ages, but yeah, back in iRacing today in the sim rig, and this time not racing the skippies in the Skip Barber Championship obviously, but in the Dallara F3s around the Hungaroring, in Hungary, and it was a good race. It was a really good race. I had a pretty bad start though, but then had some great battles towards the end. You see quite a climactic,
Climactic.
It was like that at the end, and it was cool. So watch to the end. Watch time increases by 100%. All right, so yep. Please enjoy the video. It's been a lot of fun doing this again. More videos coming soon, hopefully, if I can get some consistency. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy. Thank you very much. Alright, see ya. Enjoy. Okay, so didn't do that well in qualifying because I had a mediocre lap, and then I did this. Went miles off track on my fast lap, which meant that I ended up finishing in 10th on the grid, which is really not good at all. But anyways, moving on to the race. Here we go. And absolutely shocking start. Had loads of wheel spin, and yeah, I think my lack of experience showed a bit there, because that was a genuinely terrible start. Don't know how many positions I lost, but it was a lot, and got a couple of people starting from the pit lane there. Might be a wise move. Managed to take one position back, and had a good run out of turn one, but this guy to the left just stopped me from using the entire track, which is fair enough, because that's kind of what you do when you're racing someone. And then yeah, up here it's a bit of an incident. It looked like two people went round, and then I had to go and collect an off track there. So that cost me even more time, although it cost everyone else time as well, so not too much of a worry. And then I found myself in a bit of a pocket, so just taking it very easy through here. I think that's turn 4 or 5. Very easy to lose the rear there and bin it on lap 1 when the tyres are still kind of cold and the track's cold. But yeah, then braking quite early into here as well, because when you're in such a big pack of people and quite close behind someone, you don't know when they're going to brake compared to when you normally do, so it's a good idea to sort of give them a bit more space than you think they need, just to be sure. And then yeah, that was completely stupid from me. I was all on my own and I just lost the rear, trying to carry too much speed through there, and it just didn't work. I mean, let's have a look at the replay. You can see just way too much speed and then lose it on the exit, and yeah, that's very frustrating, and that put me all the way down in, I think, 17th or 18th, and yeah, that 8 positions down on the first lap, and then 3x for losing control and also for going off track. So really, probably the worst possible outcome for the first lap, other than getting some kind of critical damage and having to just stop. So I realised at this point, okay, it's going to be a recovery drive, isn't it, this race? This is going to be a long one. It's 18 laps in total, and we're just about to finish the first one. So yeah, time to settle down, try and be consistent as possible, and just see how I can do, which, judging by the first lap, wasn't going to be very well. And as you can see, a 5-second gap to the car in front, and in 17th. So really, the worst possible thing that could have happened on lap 1, 7 positions down. Right, then we come to here, a bit later on in the lap, and I've managed to catch up the gap already, from about 5 seconds down to less than 1. Quite nice and fast through the hairpin here, and behind this car, and then, oh, it's a Red Bull livery there, doing Red Bull livery things and being impatient, and I think we actually had some contact there, so that was pretty scary. Almost lost the rear, can't really tell on video, but you definitely felt it through the wheel. Then this guy just decides to brake a half a year too early, and almost takes me out, and the guy behind almost goes into the back of me because we both locked up trying to brake and slow down too quickly. Just the same thing there, just not to the same extent. And in here, into the second final corner, So at this point I was thinking, alright, we need to get past this guy before he causes a big crash. So try and get as good a run as possible. Out through there, took a bit of a wider line, but carried a lot of speed, got a good exit, and he didn't. Then got straight into that slipstream. He had a bit of a bent wing, so it looked like maybe he got into a bit of a collision earlier. I'm just going to go down the inside. And then he actually broke quite late, uncharacteristically, into turn 1. But we still managed to retain the position. So that's going to be P16 or P15 even, possibly 14. There was a couple of incidents. iRacing is always hard to tell exactly where you are on this tab because obviously it only updates once a lap. So when you overtake someone on a straight, on the start-finish straight, it's really difficult to try and work out where you are. But yeah, pretty good. We gained a position regardless, and we've got a bit of a buffer to the black and green car that was behind us. And now coming up on this car, looks like another F1 livery. I can't remember what year, but it's a Honda, the Lucky Strike car, and he's just going to slow down and just let us pass, which is quite nice in terms of, you know, gaining a position, but would have liked to have a bit more of a race with him, get some good content. But yeah, so I guess that's a free position. You can see now in about 10th, I think it is. Alright, so P12 now, so that was where we were, and you can see a back marker's just decided to go straight there, and the gap to the car in front around about 5 seconds. So now back into the rhythm, so consistency, which is clearly something we've been struggling a bit. And yeah, just got to try and close that gap as much as possible. Alright, and as you can see, gap stayed pretty stable. They've gained a bit, and we are behind that Red Bull livery car once again. And this is the guy who we had some contact with earlier, who drove out, who spun and then drove into the side of my car. Just about managed to not spin, but now we're meeting him again. He's gone defensive on the exit of turn 1, so you know, I think we can see which kind of driver this guy is, and it looks like he might have a Verstappen helmet on as well. So when you see someone like this, you've always got to be a bit cautious. And then in Verstappen style, he slows down in the middle of a full throttle section on a straight, and just managed to get past him pretty safely. But yeah, definitely a bit risky, bit of a risky move to slow down on a straight. But yeah, got past them all good without any wing damage, which was definitely quite easy to pick up there had I not reacted as quick as I did. But now we skip ahead a lot because nothing really happened onto the final lap of the race, and that's green and orange. No, oh my god, green and black. There's no orange. Why do I keep saying the car is orange? But that car, as you can see in the wing mirror, was right behind us, and onto the last lap now. He'd been catching up and catching up. The gap ahead was huge, but at this point I was in 8th. So I gained a couple of positions, mostly from crashes, and he was pressuring us all last lap and all into this lap because he's really close, within a few tenths, probably within a tenth at this point, 2 tenths, 1 tenth into here, nice and late on the brakes, but probably a bit more brakes I need to. Almost lost the car on the exit of turn 4 or 5, I think that is. And then he's managed to sneak past just there, but we're neck and neck. I'm a tiny bit ahead, and I can't quite go as defensive as I'd like to, and he's going to sneak past. And I just about managed to keep the car facing forwards. Let's have another look at that. You can see I locked the front right, and that just allowed him to get past because I didn't want to go into him, obviously, so I had to leave him the space. And at this point I know there's only realistically 1 or 2 more places where I can go for an overtake on him safely. So gap's pretty big, a half a second, which, you know, not too big, but in terms of trying to make an overtake before the end of the lap, it's pretty decent. And I just lunged down the inside. Wasn't the smartest move, and wasn't 100% intentional. I missed my braking marker a little bit, as you can see. And but yeah, not enough to get past him, and he's just too far ahead for a move into the penultimate corner here. And he's going to get a really good run. I'm not. And then it's at the last corner. I'm carrying as much speed as possible, just like I did when I tried to overtake that actually blue and orange car. And he's just going to take the win by barely. And I say win, it's 8th place, but the win of the battle, obviously. But really dramatic finish to the race there. I made a nice little move into turn 1 on him. And yeah, really great battle at the end of the race there. Even though it was only for P8, you get some really cool fights in these series in C-Class. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!